Hello, boys and girls. Hello, Lyman, Troy. My name is Melissa, but tonight you can call me Tinderella. Look at these handsome men behind me. It makes me so hot. I think I'll just take my guitar. Would you like to clap your hands for Ben, my music director on the left? Mowgli, my bass player behind me. And this handsome man who rocks his instrument, his name is Jay. Tonight at the Wilburton Inn, we take you on my sexual adventures and awakenings. Are you frightened? Manchester, Vermont. Are you ready? For Tinderella. Here is my true story. I think of myself like a phoenix, reborn from a flame. Or 20. 1, 2, 3, go. The city mouse left her spouse and house on the 20th floor to find her joie de vivre with her family. Back in Vermont once more. Now I'm in love. La 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 love. I'm in love. I'm in love. Life is magnifique, 'cause every other week I'm with my son and chic Soho neighbor. A Jitsi-O says I'm a volcano. He's Merlin, Auntie Mame, and Kramer. And I'm in love. La 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 love. I'm in love. I'm in love. In love with freedom, without censure. My midlife Renaissance adventure. My son, my dog, my colorful kin, and life at the Wilburton Inn. I'm in love. La 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 love. I'm in love. I'm in love. Welcome, boys and girls. Now, we all know the answer to the riddle of the Sphinx, but I have a different riddle for you tonight. How is it possible I was in love for 3 years, yet never went on one date? I simply spelt in with 2 N's. I subscribe to Aristotle's view of love, which is philia, love of mankind, rather than Plato's view of love, which was eros, love of one special person. After 16 years of marriage, I was tired of love with one person, and I enjoyed love with our guests at the Wilburton, with my family, with my little dog Jetson, and with my beautiful song, Monty. Unfortunately, last September, I realized Monty was going to boarding school. I had 12 months until I'd be spending much more time in Vermont, and Vermont gets so cold in the winter. That left me 12 months to find a man in New York City who I could bring home to Vermont. That was my starting gun in my new life as Tinderella. Boys, I wore white on my wedding night. I wasn't quite a virgin. I was prim, nouveau Victorian, when Mother Nature was urgent. My life changed course after my divorce, and the change has been strange and amazing. I opened my eyes, dated some guys, spread my wings, and now I'm truly praising. Well, I'm Tinderella, the Bella, the Ball. I once was vanilla, now I'm not at all. Men say ciao Bella, and I heed the call. What could be living a renaissance in middle age. Delighted, alighted from my gilded cage. My life's like a story that leaps from the page. My bedroom is center stage. For I'm Tinderella, the belle of the ball. I once was vanilla, now not at all. Men say ciao bella, and I heed the call. Poor Cinderella had just one fella, but this Tinderella's the belle of the ball. For a decade I lived a charade. My marriage was totally dead. For my child I stayed, and I never strayed. Though love was not made in my bed, it took 3 years to trust again, believe in pixie dust again. But now I feel I must again surrender to love and lust again. Well, I'm Tinderella, the belle of the ball. I once was vanilla, but not at all. Men say ciao bella, and I heed the call. Poor Cinderella had just one fella. This Tinderella's the belle of the ball. Yes, this Tinderella's the belle of the ball. Does anybody here know how to do online dating? Or is anybody here on online dating? Come on, raise your hand. Raise your hand. Oh, you timid, timid friends. My friend Ben is on online dating. I'm on online dating. There is no shame. Now, the way you play is, for example, Tinder is the easiest. You only put up 5 pictures and your name and your age if you really want to be honest, though I'm sure lots of people lie. And if you like someone, you swipe right. If you don't like them, you swipe left. And if you happen to think they're especially intriguing, you go up and super like someone. And then a cascade of blue stars fills your iPhone, and they know that they've caught your interest. And sometimes you can do that by mistake, which has happened to me countless times. So the first man I met on Tinder was Darren. And Darren spoiled me for all future correspondence online, because Darren was a wannabe novelist, and he grew up in Greenwich Village and now lived in Middlebury and was a singing social worker. I was a songwriter from New York City in Soho, mere blocks from Greenwich Village, and my father was a psychiatrist, my brother was a psychologist, and I happened to love social workers. Darren and I corresponded for a month, and I thought it was just perfect. And on his profile it said, "Ladies, I'm a songwriter, so write a song for me, or come write to me, and perhaps I'll write a song for you." And it took a month for me and Darren to coordinate our schedules, as I was commuting every other week between 1 week as a mommy in Soho and 1 week in Vermont as a family innkeeper at the Wilburton Inn. So in the month it took to meet my pen pal, I wrote him a little song. And where would I meet him for our first date? Starbucks is just too boring. I met Darren at Shaw's. In the produce aisle, by the passion fruit. Ready, boys? I never heard your voice, but you make me laugh out loud. I never saw your face, but you jumped right out of the crowd. Tinder, you lit my cinder. I went from a limbo to limber. I feel akimbo, and if I blow, then timber. Whoa, whoa, whoa. It's sweet and meta, old-fashioned, reading your 4 letters each day. Instead of waiting by the mailman, my iPhone's inches away. Tinder, you lit my cinder. Unfortunately, we did bomb. Darren taught me the #1 rule of Tinder. Not everybody looks like their pictures. I'm feeling so hot. However, I happened to keep going on Tinder, and I learned another rule of Tinder. If somebody doesn't show their face, that means they're not interested in a long-term monogamous relationship. However, as Tinderella and an anthropologist, there is something to be said for doing my research. So I looked at this man on Tinder who only showed his back, and his name, Francois, and his age, 38. I lifted his picture up to see if perhaps there was more of a description, and suddenly I super liked him by mistake. Francois immediately wrote to me and asked if we could get together for a rendezvous. And I wasn't quite sure what to do. I mean, I was looking for a nice Jewish boy who went to an Ivy League school that I could bring home to my family in the Wilburton Inn in Manchester, Vermont. But I had to do my market research, and I had 12 months, and it was only October. So Francois and I met at a cafe in Greenwich Village called Once Upon a Tart. 1, 2, 3. Alors, qui est comme toi, mon François? Dans tes bras, encore, encore une fois. You put the ooh et la la, François. Aujourd'hui, j'ai dit oui. Et dans la nuit, tu as changé ma vie. You put the ooh and la la, François. Tu joues plus fort dans un bikini noir. Tout m'a donné l'espoir. He said, I saw your face and chased you. Now I want to kiss, touch, and taste you. Ma première fois depuis mon mari, pour tes baisers je dois te dire merci. You put the ooh and ooh la la, François. Pour tes lèvres, ton corps et tes yeux, tout de toi était délicieux. You put the ooh and ooh la la, François. How fun to be Edith Piaf. Est-ce que c'est un au revoir ou à bientôt? Tu seras toujours mon secret cadeau. You put the ooh et nous la la. On était nous et pourquoi pas un grand bisou, bisou pour toi. Je t'aime. Well, boys and girls, the funny thing about my life is I'm living green acres. 1 week I'm in New York City taking my son to private school on Park Avenue and 74th Street every day. And the next week I'm in Vermont running around with our maintenance men and plumbers and all sorts of fun construction projects here at the Wilburton Inn. They say a man can smell a satisfied woman. Is that true? Boys, is it true? All I can tell you is I was 200 miles away from Vermont in Washington Square Park in November, And all of a sudden, my phone started buzzing and buzzing and buzzing from a man in Vermont. My handyman was hunky and cute. I was his fan till Daddy gave him the boot. Shoot. 6 months after we fired him, I totally forgot till he wrote, and I quote, "You are freaking hot. I want to rip your shirt off. I want to tear your shirt off. I want to grab your shirt off. I want to yank your shirt off. I don't need a thesaurus, you know what I adore is to rip off your goddamn shirt." Duh! What a surprise. I never knew. He said, "Get wise. You hired me to screw." True. He said, "Working for your daddy was the hits." I stayed, hoping I would get laid, 'cause you got the best tits. I wanna rip your shirt off. I wanna grab your shirt off. I wanna yank your shirt off. I wanna tear your shirt off. I don't need a thesaurus, you know what I adore is to rip off your goddamn shirt. I said, "A night with you might be enjoyed, but no can do. I can't date someone we employed. My reputation would be destroyed." He said, "I lack your fancy schools, but in a sack I aced power tools. Screw the rules. My hands are skilled, your beds I tilled. For you I killed." They were mice, but doesn't that suffice? I wanna rip your shirt off. I wanna grab your shirt off. I wanna yank your shirt off. I wanna tear your shirt off. I don't need a thesaurus, you know what I adore is to rip off your goddamn shirt. I wanna tie you up. Your ass is prime for slapping. I texted, "Stop! It is never gonna happen. It's not that our gap is too wide. You could be farm boy to my princess bride." And though I like a man who is primal, my no is final. Don't rip my shirt off. Don't grab my shirt off. Don't tear my shirt off. Don't yank my shirt off. Truly I'm flattered, but my clothing will be tattered, and I like my goddamn shirt. Duh. Thank you. You know, with all my commuting between New York, Vermont, New York, Vermont, it gets tiring. Many of my friends do Soul Cycle and yoga to relax. I decided to try meditation. Everyone knows meditation is in, from Oprah to Gwyneth to John Kabat-Zinn. A meditation practice can take many, many forms, but this one is outside all the norms. His name is Sanjay. He likes to rendezvous every other week or two. It's kind of shocking what we do and a little taboo. He said, "Would you like to let a stranger in your home? Set a timer on your phone. He'll take his finger just like this and bring you bliss on your pleasure zone. It's called orgasmic meditation. Yeah, it would make most people bolt. But underground, it's sweeping the nation. It's a cult for consenting adults. Say, oh. His name's Marcello. He's from the south of France. We have a date to remove my pants. But it's not about romance. Don't look so askance. He said, would you like to let a stranger in your home? Set a timer on your phone. They even have an oming app to help a hapless chap make his lady moan. It's called orgasmic meditation. Yeah, I know, it's quite a shock. But there's more to life than penetration. And for once it's not about his, say, oh. At first it felt like I should pay him. Or maybe lay him. No need to love, honor, or obey him. So if you want to try it isn't too complex. There's a TED Talk called Slow Sex. Take some pillows for a nest and a really deep breath. Then say, would you like to let a stranger in your home? Set a timer on your phone. You'd be surprised how many men want to help a girl feel zen. It beats doing it alone. It's called orgasmic meditation. Yeah, it's better than a shrink. Because life is about exploration. But what would Gandhi think? Say, oh. I think he'd like it. Well, boys and girls, now the calendar has turned. We have seen so many men, and it's December. And all I want for Christmas or Hanukkah or Kwanzaa is a nice, tall, Ivy League man, preferably Jewish, with brown curly hair and glasses, who I can move to Vermont. I thought maybe I would be lucky. And in Vermont, I could find my country doctor like Diane Keaton found in Baby Boom. It's not so easy, you know, meeting men in New York. But it's even harder meeting them in Vermont. However, there was one man who came after me. I call him Mr. Maple. He was so hot, I think I have to take off another layer. All right, boys, let's tell our story. Mr. Maple, I pine for you. I know it's sappy, but it's true. You make me happy. Yeah, you do, because you look so good chopping firewood. So take me out back to your sugar shack. Oh, Mr. Maple, you spruced up for our date. I was cautious before, but now can't wait. Poof, you appeared with your beard and truck, and now this city girl wants to run amok. Oh, Mr. Maple, if I might be so rash, go out on a limb and say, nice ash. Let's branch out and live to the lees. I don't need your ring, I got rings on the tree. Mr. Maple has a Woody. We can have fun. Oh yeah. Mr. Maple, I know you dig me. I was stumped before barking up the wrong tree. But your vivid hues are a phenomenon. A tree fell in the forest thanks to Match.com. Bring me to a boil. We can let off some steam. Mr. Maple, make my maple sugar into maple cream. You are my Vermont dream. Mr. Maple, make my maple sugar into maple cream. Oh, isn't it fun? Another day at the Wilburton Inn. Thank you so much for coming. All right, boys and girls, now we have a little audience participation. Manchester's famous for shopping, but my favorite store of all is Joy. And Joy is a fellow independent woman like Tinderella. And so she's given prizes for tonight, and we have 2 choices of prizes. Now, the way to earn the Joy goodie bag is if you think of a body part that starts with the letter C that I have never before said at the Wilburton Inn prior to my Tinderella Cabaret series this summer. So if you've come before, boys, mum's the word. We have some fans in the audience who have come 4 out of 5 times. I'm their Bette Midler, and this is my bathhouse. Now, what body part might start with the letter C? Oh, let me show you what you're going to win. Hold on. Yes, absolutely. C is for commando. And we have 2 pairs of commando panties. The pussy. Or the cougar. I'm not sure, but you get to choose. And men can win too, you know, and then give it to your lady friend. Hopefully you don't wear it yourself. Right? But that's up to you. That's up to you. We are very open-minded in Vermont. No judgments. All right, boys and girls, any suggestions from the audience to take home this lovely pair of cougar panties? Band, you are not allowed to guess. Clavicle. Excellent choice, but no. Chin. Excellent choice, but no. Excellent choice, but a little too racy for the Wilburton Inn. Anything else? Girls in the front. Cougar. Starts with the letter C. Anybody? Cunnilingus is not a body part. That is an action. Wait a minute. We have a woman in the back of the house. Cuticle. No. Let me see. No, you've been here before, sir. You may not say, hold on, not Cooley. From the back, yes. What did you say? Definitely not clubfoot, although I don't use that word too often here. Judith. Collarbone is not our word. Cornea, no. Cleavage. Colon? Definitely not colon.
Actually, that's one of Ben's songs.
Now, hold on. Boys and girls, look at this cute little pussy. Doesn't it remind you of something? Shh. Yes? That doesn't start with C. Crotch? No, not crotch. That's just not classy enough. C is for classy. All right, come. I have hopes. Shh. Oh!
Yes!
Madame, all the way from Israel, I could tell by your accent. Now come and claim your... Now let me ask you. Ben, hold up one choice. Mowgli, hold up the other choice. Now, Madame, come. Hold on. All right, come. Excuse me, this happens to be a guest from the Wilburton Inn visiting us from New York City. Will you tell us what the winning word was? And tell us what the word is.
Clitoris.
There we go. And which undies would you like? You have two gentlemen to... The cougar?
It's hard to choose.
It's very hard to choose.
I'm gonna ask my boyfriend. Which one? The pussycat or the lion?
The pussycat.
He's shy.
Which one? Go ahead, tell them. But you have to give a kiss to the gentleman you take it from. He's a nice Jewish boy, don't worry. The kitty cat. All right, we have a winner. All right, very good. Enjoy. Wear them in good health. Is Monty here? Just checking. Okay. Now, we don't simply give away underwear. Now, as a matter of fact, I have to tell you a funny story. This is a family hotel, and our family celebrated our 31st year as family innkeepers this summer, 31 years. So my brother Max and my brother Oliver and my father were all at our farm, and I said, gentlemen, I need to ask you something. You know, I love our hotel. It's our mother's legacy. It is our family, and it is a very small town. How do you feel if I sang a song that had the word clitoris in it? And they said, I don't know, Melissa, you really have to sing it to us, and then we'll decide. And I would like to say that I have done something for all of the girls in our family and all of our young teenage sons to put it out on the table. Like, it is not, this is just, you know, elbow, toe, knee, clitoris. It is now just a part of our vocabulary. It's a body part. There is no stigma. And this is the famous song, which has now become the Levis family all-time favorite. Sing along. It was my mother's birthday yesterday. I don't think she would have approved. A naked man is in my bed. My face might now blush red. But just as I reached for a condom, this is what he said. I'd really like to lick your clitoris, but I'm terrified of syphilis. So, though I feel desirous, I won't risk a virus. I do not accuse you of perfidia, but I'm frightened by chlamydia. You may have no idea and give me gonorrhea, HPV, and herpes never fades. And God forbid you give me AIDS. And just in case your past is checkered, I must see your medical record. Show me now your doctor's test, or I am getting dressed. I said, hey, I understand you're wary. STDs are super scary. Rest assured, I surely know I'm pure as virgin snow. There's no chance some strain I carried. You're my first since I was married. I was tested with my ex before we had unprotected sex. I was faithful for 20 years. Doesn't that allay your fears? He said, open up your ears. I would really lick your clitoris, but I'm terrified of syphilis. Everybody sing! I feel desirous. I won't risk I do not accuse you of perfidia, but I'm frightened by chlamydia. You may have no idea and give me gonorrhea, HPV, and herpes never fades. And God forbid you give me. And just in case your past is checkered, I must see your medical record. Show me now your doctor's test, or I am getting dressed. I said, hey, safe sex is my holy divinity. I waited 4 years to lose my post-divorce virginity. But this is absurd. Can't you take my word? And he said,
Hey, don't get an attitude. I asked these of each gal I screwed, and I've never missed it once. With 48 women in the last 6 months.
he's in character. He's in character.
Bravo!
I said, wait. You slept with 48 women in the past 6 months?
Lovers, I never once use rubbers.
I said, holy Aphrodite, and jumped up and grabbed my nightie. This guy is so ridiculous. He's way too promiscuous. I do not want him near my clitoris. He's the one who probably has syphilis. And though I felt desirous, I won't risk a virus. I do not accuse him of perfidia, but I bet he has chlamydia. And I'm getting the idea. He could give me gonorrhea, HPV, and herpes never fades. And God forbid he gives me AIDS. And now I know his past is checkered, and he couldn't even show me his medical record. He flunked the boyfriend test. I got up and got dressed. STDs are very scary. It's important that one checks. So stay away from jerks like him, and you'll have safer sex. Well, it is now January. New York is so cold. And would you believe I am sort of like one of those underwear? Not the pussy, the cougar. I discovered something fascinating. I always thought I would date a man who was older than I am. But in fact, while I was out there looking for the nice Jewish boy who maybe was 6 feet tall and went to an Ivy League and could move to Vermont, that was the most important criteria. I needed somebody who could be a consultant or a writer or an investor, somebody who could just uproot their life and move with me to Manchester, Vermont. But what was I finding online? Ben, what was I finding online? No goodnicks. No goodnicks. Oh, no goodnicks. I found a plethora of little boys. All these little boys who lied about their age so they would come up in my searches. I was a MILF. Oh, I'm 48 and just had a date with a guy who's 24. He is half my age and longs to engage with a woman who's mature. And there are dozens more who implore to fare l'amour with me. So do I have a tryst and cross it off my list of things to try while I'm free? 'Cause he's young, young, and well hung, and he wants me to be Mrs. Robinson. He's young, young,
and well hung.
but am I Mrs. Robinson? His flawless physique is like a Greek marble smooth. He is totally bare, without one hair down there, as his pictures prove. 'Cause he's young, young,
and well hung.
and he wants me to be Mrs. Robinson. 'Cause he's young, young,
and well hung.
but am I Mrs. Robinson? 1,000 scenarios he begs me to play, like doctor, a sleepless child with a mom in lingerie. Cuckoo-ca-choo, so what should I do? Well, it's incredible, totally edible, but it might be a thrill. 'Cause what a blast, he could last and last without a little blue pill. 'Cause he's young, young,
and well hung.
and he wants me to be Mrs. Robinson. 'Cause he's young, young,
and well hung.
but am I Mrs. Robinson? Should I be Mrs. Robinson? Now, not every date is a winner, you know. I have to tell you, I had the funniest experience online with a guy named Darren. I call him Darren 2. Darren 2 and I exchanged emails from Christmas to New Year's, and it was the holidays, and he was traveling, and I was in Vermont, and he lived in Scarsdale, but he loved to write texts. And we shared 500 texts within 2 weeks, which resulted in him asking me to marry him. And I thought he was so handsome and interesting and Ivy League and tall and Jewish and curly hair and glasses, yada, 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 that I actually thought maybe Labor Day weekend would be a good weekend to get married. At the Wilburton Inn. It was empty. We didn't happen to have a wedding that weekend, and I thought maybe we should hold the date. And then I actually spoke with him on the phone, and I heard his voice. And I've always liked men with accents. You know, my father's from Greece, and I think a European accent is very classy. He had a Long Island accent. Not as classy. And I said, gee, Darren, you're so perfect, but maybe you could speak with a French accent? And he was so insulted, that was the end of the wedding. It was done. And I never even met him. Oh, well. But meanwhile, while I was so busy with Darren, too, there was this guy, Mark Cohen, from Westchester. Now, Mark was crazy about me, but I just couldn't keep track of all these men. So Mark would write me and try to send me funny jokes, and I was busy with David from Brooklyn and Darren from... Where was Darren from? Oh, yes, Stanford. Anyway, Valentine's Day came, and Darren and David never called, but Mark Cohen did. And I thought that was very sweet. So my family was off to Greece for a family trip on spring break, and I thought maybe I could just make a little time and squeeze in meeting Mark Cohen for drinks the night before. Now, do you know the phenomenon of ghosting? Ghosting is when the man disappears. Just poof. It's very rude. And Mark Cohen, who I wasn't interested in at all, ghosted me. So as my family was shopping around through the monuments of ancient Greece and puzzling over the mysteries of Delphi, I was puzzling over the mysteries of Mark Cohen. Maybe he's in traction or had a bad reaction to our first date, which I thought was great. Or he's in a coma. Maybe that's why he won't phone her unless I fear. And sadly, it's clear you don't feel a spark or think about me in the dark. You are a question mark. Was I just a lark that night in Washington Square Park? Where did we miss the mark? I don't wish you a disaster, but I wish your heart beat faster, and I don't feel so perplexed. It's pretty monumental. I thought we had potential. I thought for sure at least you You said you were lucky that you met me. That's what you said. You wore pink for me. I thought you could adore me. Please call so I know you're not dead. Do you know I actually Googled obituaries in White Plains for a Mark Cohen? Do you know how many Mark Cohens live in White Plains? Oh, maybe it's amnesia or a terrible brain seizure. Perhaps you hit a deer driving home. Or maybe I misread you, and maybe I upset you. That's okay. Let's discuss it on the phone. But your silence is telling, or you call me compelling. You were handsome, funny and tall. I don't know what went asunder. Are you 6 feet under? It's just too bad you don't call. I just feel sad. I might have liked you most of all. It is now April. My deadline is June. What am I going to do? I think I have to broaden my search categories. I think I have to try a new type of man. The salsa Pete. Instead of just looking for a nice Jewish boy and an Ivy Leaguer, I decided to try Latin. He was a little shorter, a little younger, a little less pedigreed, but who cares? It was love. He was my dancing teacher, and he swept me off my feet. Can you say, ay? Tango, salsa, cha-cha, merengue. Tango, salsa, cha-cha, merengue. Tango, salsa, cha-cha. He swept me off my feet. Say, tango, salsa, cha-cha, merengue. Tango, salsa, cha-cha, merengue. Tango, salsa, cha-cha. He swept me off my feet. He calls me corazon. He loves me all night long. He is suave, strong, and sweet. He calls me corazon. He is the rhythm of my song as we dance to the Latin beat. Tango, salsa, cha-cha, merengue. Tango, salsa, cha-cha, merengue. Tango, salsa, cha-cha. He swept me off my feet. Say, tango, salsa, cha-cha, merengue. Tango, salsa, cha-cha. He swept me off my feet. The way he spins and dips, the way he shakes his hips, the way he kisses my lips to eat. Que peligroso, que delicioso, que caliente. That Latin beat. Does anyone want to dance with Tinderella? I know you know how to dance. Come dance with me. Now you say tango, salsa. John Zacchio, ladies and gentlemen. Ay, caramba, you should see him samba. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba, que calor. Bésame mucho, con mucho gusto. Te quiero, te quiero, te quiero. Mi amor. A hand-grown plant. Well, thank you. Now, it is June. I didn't think Ricardo was quite right forever, but I was going to Vermont. And I always liked Dirty Dancing. And though he wasn't exactly Patrick Swayze, I thought perhaps we could try our best. But sadly, our dance number didn't last too long. He had a few fun weeks with me in Vermont, and then back he went. My father taught me that creativity is the heart of conflict resolution. And Ricardo was the only man in a year of 50 blind dates that I cried for. But I spoke with my father, and he said, Missy, just write a song. dabbed my eyes and took out my pencil. And now I feel oh so much better. He could have been my whole enchilada. Instead, he ends up with nada, not a lot of love in his heart, where it was born. I'm forlorn. He could have been my whole enchilada and waltzed with me down the altar, but I said bye-bye-o to my pico de gallo this morn. It was a fiesta when we undressed a hot tamale and Cholula, but now I'm bruised and confused. I think he used me for my moolah. Ay, what a foola. He could have been my whole enchilada and danced with me down the altar. He gave me a squeeze. I gave him the keys of my heart and my hotel. He made me happy like a piñata, full of sweetness and candy he brought. But what was plenty is empty and torn apart. He said, should I call you my princess or queen? I let him be the man of my dreams. It's not worth a hill of beans, though we were close. 'Cause I'm not his sugarcane mama, so adios. We are winding down our calendar year, boys and girls. It's now July. And there is no man in my king-size bed except my King Charles Spaniel. But I have to say, by dating, you learn so much not only about what you're looking for in other people, but what you're looking for in yourself. And I think you can spend a whole lot of time with these limitless possibilities. And it's tiring, looking and looking. But I decided what I was looking for. This is a song I wrote for a man named David in Brooklyn. I don't need you to pick up my tab. I don't need a deep wallet. I don't care about six-pack abs and size of your whatchamacallit. All I want is you in Vermont to warm my bed. All I desire is hearing fiery thoughts of me in your head. I like being wined and dined, but it isn't required. I want to be on your mind. I want to know I'm desired. I want a man who's real, I can unpeel slowly in layers. I want late night talks, moonlight walks. I am through with players. I don't need the Amalfi Coast or a sugar daddy. I want to be the one you love most, the one you crave so badly. Is that too much, wanting thoughts and touch? Am I too demanding? I thought a lot about all I got, and here's my understanding. I don't need you to complete me, I'm complete already. I want a guy who's strong and sweet, someone stalwart and steady. So if you're game and feel the same, let's be untame and try. But if I'm too hot for you, then I'm not for you. Toodaloo, dear guy. 'Cause waiting around feels shitty. I'm too young, too smart, and too pretty. And there are too many men in this city to compromise. It isn't an ultimatum, but there are other men and I'll date 'em. Let me know verbatim without lives. If we should say more hellos or our goodbyes. It's very dangerous for men to date Tinderella. I've become the musical Colette, or the Erica Jong of song. And every time I meet a man, I write a song to put it all together for me, and then I email it to them. I'm sort of like the Pink Panther of dating. I always send a little card after my heist. But there's one man who really, really deserves a song. This man has been my wingman for 3 or 4 years. He's my best of my best. He sets the bar so high, no other man has yet to compare. They say you should really write down what you're looking for in the world of men. And so I was thinking of every adjective for the perfect man, and I realized I knew exactly who it was. You ready, boys? I made a list of every trait that I seek in my soulmate. I seek a date. I long to smooch. Amazingly, it all was clear. I want a man who's cavalier, exactly like my King Charles Spaniel Pooch. I seek a pedigreed suitor, but one who isn't neutered, who stands erect on 2 legs. He is no rover. I teach him to roll over, and he ain't too proud to beg. He looks great in the buff. He likes it rough. He jumps when he hears my key. Best of all, he comes when I call, and he can't keep his paws off me. I want a man to protect me, obey and respect me, and melt me with his big brown eyes. He kisses me when I awaken. I bring home the bacon which he eats before my eyes. He is happy to fetch. He'll never kvetch. He sits and stays patiently. He's my big romance. You should hear how he pants. He can't keep his paws off me. He barely talks, but loves moonlight walks. I'm so happy with him. Is it his zest, or furry chest, or animal magnetism? Go find the breeder. Tell her I need her. Tell her nature calls. Send a man in my direction, as wonderful as Jetson. Let's just hope he still has some balls. I don't want no hound dog alpha, just a sweetheart who's half as kind can be. He'll say, darling, I'm yours, and get down on all fours. So I'll give him a nibble of his favorite kibble. In his sweater of argyle, he loves doggy style. And he can't keep his paws off me. No, no, he eats out of my think the ASPCA would have a problem with that song. Well, boys and girls, I have something exciting to tell you. My countdown is over. It is a year since I knew I had to find a man to bring home to Vermont, and guess what? I still have my Jetson, but instead of looking for one man, I found 3. I have this sexy man on drums, Jay. I have the wonderful Mowgli on bass. And I have my favorite farmer and music director, Ben. And I have a ticket to Paris. Would you believe I'm going to Paris?
No.
I'm taking Monty to Choate on Monday. And then I got a round-trip ticket for a week at Paris to meet a man who I met at the Wilburton Inn. This summer, he won the panties in the cabaret in July. He said the magic word, and I took a picture with him simply to put on Facebook and share with Joy. And I emailed it to him with the subject line, undies, and the one word, enjoy. He wrote back to me and did a little digging about me, and he said, you know, Melissa, we have much in common. My father was born in 1937 in Paris, like your father was born in Greece, and he's also a Jewish man. My mother was born in Brooklyn in 1944, just like your mother who was born. And I think you're fascinating and wonderful and beguiling and captivating. And he's been writing me letters 4 times a day, every day since July. Every day. So we don't know what will happen. Our future is yet to be seen. But I am perhaps a little crazy or perhaps a little lucky, but off I go. So thank you, boys and girls. It is Labor Day, and there's no man in Manchester for me yet, but perhaps he's certainly not geographically desirable, but he looks exactly like the man of my dreams. So I'm thrilled to go. And now we have the moral of our story. Gentlemen, shall we sing? After a year, it's all a jumble. Did we meet on Match, Tinder, or Bumble? From J date to blind date to speed date, oy vey. I burnt out from 3 dates in one day. There was Sean on the lawn and comedian Sean. Darren 1, Darren 2, Marcello, Jim, and Stu, little boy Sam, and my handyman. It was a lot, though not many got hot. With my Latin lover, Israeli soldier, and Le Parisien, I felt like a one-woman UN. 5 Allen, 4 Davids, and Marc and Dutoit, Rolf, Sanjay, Thaddeus, Ricardo, and Francois. When it didn't work out with my first crush last summer, at the time, it felt like such a bummer. But looking back now, I truly am glad for, oh, the adventures I had with Sean on the lawn and comedian Sean. Darren 1, 2, Marcello, Jim, and Stu, little boy Sam, my handyman. It was a lot, though not many got hot. With my Latin lover, Israeli soldier, and Le Parisien, I felt like a one-woman UN. 5 Allen, 4 Davids, and Marc and Dutoit, Rolf, Sanjay, Thaddeus, Ricardo, and Francois. It was rare if they climbed my stair, but before they could enter my home, they had to win the favor of Agenzio, my neighbor, and Jetson, my fierce chaperone. It was swiping and typing in an endless carousel. Next came a text. If he seemed swell, then drinks or a walk at a downtown hotel. cast me in their spell. Was I too picky, finding love is so tricky, and a quickie is not what I want. I seek a man to love all I am, and move to Vermont. From the inventor to the investor to my ballroom dancer. Not one man has yet been the answer, but they've all been a part of my brand new start. And I'm grateful they inspired my heart. Thank you, Sean on the lawn, and comedian Sean. Darren 1, Darren 2, Marcello, Jim, and Stu. Little boy Sam and my handyman. It was a lot, though not many got hot. With my Latin lover, Israeli soldier, and Le Parisien, I felt like a one-woman UN. 5 Allen, 4 Davids, and Mark and Antoine. Rolf, Sanjay, Thaddeus, Ricardo, and Francois. Once I'm the gladius. I am the gladius to have met Rolf and Sadius, Ben, Mowgli, Chris, Agizio, Ramiro, Michelle, Herschel, Salvador, Guido, and Jetson. Ricardo and Francois, Rolf, Sanjay, Thaddeus, Ricardo and Francois. Merci beaucoup, mes amis. Thank you. It's been quite a year. It's been quite a summer. And it's been quite fun to have you all in our living room at the Wilburton. I'd like to finish tonight with just one song. Dear Ben said, Melissa, this is not the Poconos. You are not allowed to be quite so campy. And so tonight was my metamorphosis from camp to vamp. What do you think of the new me? But it wouldn't be the new me if we didn't sing the Wilburton Inn theme song. Oliver, will you come up? And Tylee, will you come up? Come on, let's do the Wilburton theme song. Come on, Maxwell, Dana. Come on, everybody up. Theo, Noah, Monty, come on. Very good. Let's take it from the beginning. Are you ready? Shh. Well, everybody, here we are, Labor Day weekend at the Wilburton Inn. All right, Bonnie's here. All right. All right. Shh. This is the true story of how our family became innkeepers. See, our dad is a psychiatrist. Mom is a late sleeper. Never in a million years did they dream they'd be an innkeeper. But the night our dad turned 50, they dined at the Wilburton. Mom fell in her soup, as Dad said with a whoop, Eureka, let's buy this in 2, 3.